Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to IRL Season 7, the F1 tier at Round 2 at Bahrain. I'm your commentator, IRL Neon, also known as Jared Fosbury. I'm joined by my co-commentator, who's back and healthy, Kevin.
Hello.
So the duo is back together, as we've got 19 cars, I believe, on the grid. I believe we're still waiting for one more person to join midway through the qualifying session. You didn't really miss this much, really, last week, Kevin, because I did remember you were watching the stream as well at the same time.
Yeah.
Obviously, Brett with Super J has been given a half-season ban till round 7. It'll finish after round 7. At round 8, he can do his start racing again for the Red Bull. But we have 19 drivers there with one reserve, I believe. There's Aqua, actually, and also Pedro. He's a reserve today, I believe, as well.
Yeah, and then we're also waiting on Chris
to
join as well.
While I just make sure everything is up and running correctly, I will, find the standings for F1. Well, with Matthew Alder did winning then, with Lewis Curtis dropping a second, as Matthew had a 5-second penalty removed. Lewis got the fast lap still though, with second place, so he has 19 points in second. And the grid order just goes like that from last week. However, on Constructors' point stands, Williams are in the lead, Race Point second with 19 points, Haas are third with 15, McLaren only 1 point, 14 points, Renault fifth, the defending Constructors' Championship champions with 12 points, Toro Rosso in sixth with 9 points, Red Bull seventh with 6, Ferrari in 8th with 2 points, and Alfa Mercedes unfortunately didn't score. Australia, the person who qualified on pole was Alan Collingwood, and the winner was Matthew Alder, and the fast lap was taken by Lewis Curtis, as I did say. Other than that, nothing else serious has really happened, really. There's also one other thing: we will be having ghosting off from now on, since for some reason
ghosting on.
Sorry, ghosting on. Yeah, I apologise, ghosting on.
It is confusing, to be fair.
Yeah, it affects lapped cars, and it can cause incidents, as we saw with Brett and Jay. Which is good to see he is back, and I believe there's a Haas, I believe that is Cassidy. Yes, it is. Cassidy will be the first one on a lap then. So here he comes then, down the start-finish line. So we'll start on the hard compound of tyre, which is roughly a one-stop round here, as it's hard to medium or medium to hard. As he gets a nice entry through turn 1, really doesn't kick out. Nice tidy through turn 2 and 3. There's a Red Bull behind him who's actually on a lap as well. I believe that is Felix, who got promoted to Red Bull. Now it's turn 4. Does he? I think he went down a gear by mistake there. See how he takes. He will be purple right now since it's the only one. See how he takes the hairpin. Looks like Legenda is having issues with his gearing, and Ollie's retired. Oh, I forgot, Ollie had a quali ban, and so did Cameron. And I believe when Brett comes back, I think he has a quali ban as well when he races next time. Apologies for that, as Ollie and Cameron will be, well, Cameron will have to retire, of course, very soon. As my TV decided just to turn off, so I can't see a thing right now. There we go. As he hasn't invalidated then Legenda right now, as Casper. He's coming around the final corner. Let's see what provisional pole lap he will do. Let's see what time he'll do then. It's going to be a 1:29.3 there, so don't know if that was full pace. Well, that was his banker run. Although the other Haas of Lucas, who's come back, he's on a 1:28.6, takes ball, so the Haas are currently first and second.
There's also Bran coming around the final corner.
Alright, we've won both Bran.
Followed by the 2 Alphas, I think that is.
Bran takes
second.
second.
1 Alpha and a Ferrari.
It's not Lee, it's actually... Oh, it is Lee. And I believe that's... No, it's not Jack. Where's the other Ferrari? It's Venom. Venom takes pole. Wow, and Sondre takes third right now, with a 1:28.777. So good luck there from him, as we have a Red Bull next, who I don't believe is... Oh, it's actually on lap right now. Then I believe that's Jack, who's on an outlap. Yep. Is anyone on finishing laps right now? Lewis Curtis, actually, he may be on one. Nope, he's not. What about Pedro now? Yes, Pedro is on the final corner. Let's see what time he will do. If you want to get ready to commentate over your former teammate, Jack Yates' lap, Kevin.
Okay. Oh, okay, he's on a lap, is he?
Yeah, he's on a lap, yeah.
So yeah, obviously he's just finished the first sector, goes pole. He's on softs, which is an interesting choice. So obviously he's trying to get a bit higher up the grid as he cuts that corner, so maybe he was intending to do that. So now it's valid.
Is he bad, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately for Jack Yates. Well, Jay is actually on a lap right now, if you want to go on him then. So I'm just texting Sondre something.
Oh, and he's actually made a pretty big mistake in the exit of turn 2. It is very easy to do. There's also a racing point behind him. He is on a lap, I think. No, it's actually Legenda on in lap, I think.
Yes, it is. For some reason, I don't have the tyres on when I did. Okay then. There we go. Should be back to normal now. Yeah, I think he's doing.
Matthew and Lewis Curtis are coming to sector 3. They're out laps.
Matthew isn't on a proper lap. Yeah, Matthew isn't on a proper lap. He's on softs. As Lewis and him both go off, I think to avoid traffic then. What about Jamie though? He's currently in sector 1. Oh, he runs a bit deep. Going to cost him a little bit of time. See if he can make up it on the rest of his lap. Have a nice turn 4. I've got to give credit to Jamie. Last season he was here at the start and left. Oh, he's made a big mistake there. That's gonna. I see his lap game on, but I've got to give Jamie some credit. He was showing some strong pace in Australia. Unfortunately, he had a bit of contact with his teammates. As Aaron has joined then, so Aaron will be in the Renault instead of Chris. So Aaron has decided to join. I think Jay's now going to be on another lap as he's now on the entry to turn 1, 2. So Aaron will be starting near the back grid with Cameron and who else?
Ollie, that is. Yep. It does look like Jay's on a lap. Also, did he? Yeah, I think he just invalidated it there.
Every time
a lot of invalidations going on.
Oh yeah, it's quite easy to invalidate, and I believe that's actually Casper again on. Well, still out on those hards. He's on 3 laps on them. Currently in 8th. His teammate Lucas Serra is in 4th, I believe. So, is it? Yeah, it is Lucas Serra. Yeah, it is his teammate. He's currently in 5th now. So I think Felix just got himself up to 3rd. Or was it Pedro? It might be Pedro.
No,
Pedro's got up to 2nd.
No.
Yeah, Pedro's gone up to 2nd. So the reserve. Well, Pedro is doing some good pace right now. I believe he's a reserve. No, he's not. He's actually a full driver now. My apologies. I think he did take Odin's spot in the Renault. Which for some reason hasn't been. Let's have a look. So Pedro isn't on a lap then. Lino Romanello, little Nino. Italian, he'll be on a lap now as he's finishing it off in the racing point.
And Lucas Serra's starting one.
Okay, you keep an eye on that then, as I will go on board him after Neil's done his lap. As he comes near then to the line, what time will he do? And it's a 1:28.6, points him to 6th place. Driver ahead of him is Lucas Serra, as you've got comms on him now, Kevin.
He does quite the lock up into turn 1, which is going to lose him a little bit of time. Turns 2 and 3 doesn't look like he had to correct the car or anything, which seems to be a problem for some drivers. And another lockup into turn 4, so that's not going to help his lap time at all. Now through this S section, as he gets up in the curb a little bit, and he really rides that curb as well in the hairpin. Now through probably the trickiest corner, especially if you have ABS off, which obviously he does. Doesn't lock up, so that's well taken by him. Now through his fight left, the fast left-right-handers. That's another lock-up from Lucas. I'm not sure if he's up in this time. I don't think he is. We'll see now.
He is actually.
He is up by a little bit. So this could be have him on for third, maybe challenging for second as he gets a little bit of slipstream, but he might get held up as well. That's Eric ahead of him. And the Toro also.
Sorry to cut you off, Kevin, but it doesn't matter. He's invalidated it on that final corner. He invalidated it when we saw his delta time. He ran a bit wide on the curb. Which is surprising. I didn't. Codrosters might have made that curve a bit stricter now, because I remember last season, you could really cut that curb a little bit, and now he just literally touched it anyway. Validation, which is unfortunate for him. However, Lewis Curtis now is on a set of mediums in the racing point, currently 5.8 seconds apparently up on his time, but he's also validated. So maybe explaining why. But that's Jack Laverty there trying to get a bit of slipstream on the hard comparative tyre, currently in the lead. As we'd see a McLaren then on the top step. As Matthew did say though, he's not really a fan of this track, as he does say it's mainly a pad OP track, which I kind of do agree with him. It is a pad OP to an extent.
Yeah, I've just caught Matthew Collins on a lap, although he's a little bit down.
Jackson validated as well.
Oh no, he's invalidated. Never mind.
Why is a lot of people invalidation? Like, come on. Alright then, what about Matthew Alder?
Yeah, I found Nino on a lap as well. He
Is
hasn't invalidated yet.
Okay, yeah, Nino is ahead then.
Through
oh, he's 5 tenths.
Yeah, that's the fastest middle sector as well.
That
he is on the hards
Paul
as well, so this will be a good lap. Through the final corner. Doesn't look like any problems for at least the last part of his lap. Opens up DRS, and it's gonna be P4 with the 28.1. So obviously his first sector may not have been as good.
Yeah, but he takes 4th place. You will be happy with that. However, Matthew Alder was on the lap. And good evening, Cameron. I believe that's Weston Edwards in the chat. Welcome. As here comes then Matthew Alder. I think he is on a run. He's finishing his lap. He was purple apparently in sector 2, so it looks like Matthew is going to take pole. We'll see what he does. It was a surprise that he didn't take pole in Australia, but what about Bahrain? Will he manage to keep it this time? He's going to do a 1:27.7, only a couple of tenths faster than Midnight on the same compound tyre. And Matthew takes pole position at the moment. And then I believe that is actually Sondre who is on a lap. No, he's not. Why is it? Oh, it's Mercedes, my bad. That's Jay, who will be on a lap. No, he's pitted. And, oh, hang on, is that Lewis? Yeah, it is. Lewis has gone off on the final corner. And he's lost a bit of his wing. That's interesting.
Straight into the pits. It seems a lot of people are in the pits right now.
That is true. The person who isn't.
And Eric's actually retired.
Yeah, I think
I didn't catch that, but
yeah, everyone's pitting. What about Nino?
Yeah, but you know what happens? What has happened to Eric though?
No.
Did he just retire or did he crash?
I didn't see what happened there because Felix is on an out lap, so he will be the first one to start a lap. Matthew, I believe, is peeling into the pits. But Jack Yates, he's really having a bit of bad luck in the top tier. Last week he crashed out in quali and then crashed out in the race. He's hoping for a bit of better luck this week. As Felix will be starting a lap very shortly. As Jack has got the pace against some of these guys, he's quicker than some of them. So it's a shame that he's currently 19th right now. As then here comes Felix and starting his lap in the Red Bull. He was once a champion, fighting against Matthew Alder. He won it. Will he be able to give Red Bull their championship hopes back? As Jack Oil, I believe, in season 5 won the Drivers' Championship. Let's see what Felix can do then. Into turn 4. So let's see what he does in Sector 1 then. He does a 128.1, currently a 10th up already.
That
Purple in
is
Sector
the
1.
quickest for Sector 1 as well.
So Felix is on a mission. Wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get Paul, does get Paul, because he is on the mediums. So he takes the final double two corners. Which are very tricky with no ABS. Climbing up the gears, nice and tidy on the acceleration. Although Felix has said though he's not really confident with the track at Bahrain. He's never been that comfortable with it. Right now he's currently purple. What about Sector 2? He's purple in Sector 2 by 6.5 tenths right now. So Felix is on a mission right now. He's luckily doesn't invalidate like other people have. See what he will do on the final corner then. Nice and tight. The rear doesn't kick out. Good acceleration. Let's see what time he will do. It's going to be a 27.9. Misses on pole by a couple of tenths. He was so up there and just loses it. As Brandon's crashed. Brandon has crashed. Brandon's binned it with Venom. I think the Ferrari and the Merc have had contact.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Is Brand's out completely.
Yeah. Has Venom got damage?
I was going to say though, everyone is on hards right now. It'll be interesting to see if anyone stays on the hards and aborts their medium lap. Especially for the guys at the top. I mean, if Matthew keeps that hard time, he might just still be enough up the grid that it could pay out.
Yeah, correct there. He will be starting up very soon. As Lucas sets the new fast lap, 127.4. So Matthew's no longer in pole then. As we'll go on board with Jay, currently purple in Sector 1. Will Jay have an answer to Matthew Alder? As Jay was possibly a driver champion contender, but unfortunately too many crashes with Cameron in a few incidents he had. Just bad luck he had last season just threw him out of it. But you never know, Jay this season could have a bit more better luck. He didn't have the first round go to plan. Although the second round could easily go to plan, and Matthew Alder could crash out. Anything can happen. It is F1 of course. As there is a slow Red Bull ahead of Jay. So if that's Felix, I'd get out of the way. I believe it is Felix. And then here comes Jay then. Ooh. That's invalid. He's just invalidated himself and he will be furious. He'll be starting 15th. Unless he makes this lap count. He's almost out of ERS. Right now though, I believe Casper, there's actually a Renault next actually. That is actually Pedro who will be on a lap. Matthew's still on an out lap apparently. Yeah, Matthew's no longer. Is anyone who's finishing laps? Robert Jack? No. I believe that's Red Bull Aqua.
It looks like Jay is going for on this lap.
It still says he's invalidated though. Does on your map, does it say he's invalidated?
Yeah, but it could just be that, oh yeah, up at first, but it could be that just his last lap was invalid, so it just shows it as invalid when it's not.
True.
I mean, he definitely is going for it anyway.
Oh, is this Lee Kelly then coming on the final corner? No, it's not. That is JME. Let's see what JME then does. He was actually apparently on an out lap. So, his lap is game over then. What about Lee Kelly? Though JME's lap wasn't an out lap, he does a 127.5. So JME is currently in third. What about Lee Kelly?
With Jay's lap could put him around 5th or 6th.
That is Mercedes next, so that is Jay. Lee takes 4th. Alpha's really close together. What about Jay then? Jay 15th, he was invalidated, and he would have done a 26.8, so he would have been pole. Now here comes Jack through the final corner. I believe that's actually Matthew ahead of him. It is Matthew ahead of him. Matthew stays 6th. Pedro takes the lead, and Jack jumps up to 11th place. What about Jack's teammate Venom? Oh, Venom, I think, has had a bit of contact with Lewis Curtis. Not Lewis Curtis. Yeah, Lewis Curtis.
Yeah, that's Nino.
Oh, is it Nino?
No, that's Nino.
Oh yeah, Lewis Curtis retired, yeah, my bad. That is Nino, who isn't on a lap. Neither is Venom, so that is qualifying over, and I am really surprised who the top 4 is, even though we didn't give our prediction. Jack Leverty is Paul, with Pedro second, and Lucas Serra in third. I'm very surprised. However, though, Matthew Alder, I believe, will be starting on the hard compound tyres in 7th. So Matthew may be on the better strategy in the long run, but Matthew has to make sure he doesn't get damage into turn 1, because if he does, that hard strategy is game over.
If Jay gets a good start, he could put himself only a few cars behind Matthew, and they would, in theory, be on the same strategy. I mean, you never know what could happen in turn 1. Oops.
And then my co-commentator dropping his phone. But no, that Jamie is happy with P5, as he says in the chat. P5 with an exclamation mark, so he looks happy with it. And I would be too. You know, he showing some strong pace right now. P5 beat Lee Kelly, your teammate, who's in 6th. Hopefully you don't have any contact like last time, as Lee was unfortunate again last season. He had contact with Venom in the McLaren in Germany, so Lee at the moment's having a bit of bad luck with that, as Venom's actually got a 5 grid place penalty. And we'll go down the qualifying order then. Where is the instant? Damn, I missed it. But we'll go down the qualifying order on the formation lap, of course. Well, Kevin, who do you think is going to be your top 4 then?
Well, I mean, anything can happen, and I would say that there probably is going to be at least a safety car in this race, which could bring the field together. I am going to say that Jay is going to win, just out of nowhere. I mean, if it happens, then my prediction will look good. Then Matthew second, close obviously to Jay, and third, I'm gonna put, because it's a lot of people out of place as well, which is
true
a factor. Gonna put Jamie Morrison third.
Interesting then. Well then, I'll go with my top 3 then. I'm going to go with Jack Larrity winning, since he's qualified on pole. He's got a decent start on the mediums, could happen. Not going to count Matthew out there though. I think he's going to get a podium in 2nd. And I'm going to give Felix a bit of good luck. He's in 8th. I think he could possibly rise to 3rd place. If not, I think then Jay's going to get it. So 3rd's between Jay and Felix right now. Although we'll go down the rest of the grid then. So Jack Liberty in 1st, Pedro 2nd, Lucas in 3rd, Nino Ramanella in 4th in the racing point. He'll be happy with that qualifying. Jamie in 5th, who's really happy with his position where he's starting, beating his teammate who's in 6th. Matthew Alder on the hard tyres in 7th. Felix Negwer in 8th on the medium compound tyre. And Casper in 9th, who got a podium last week. He'll be looking a bit more the same with lucky strategy calls. Jack Yates finally got qualifying done and dusted and gets 10th in the Ferrari, and hopefully his race doesn't end with retirement. Eric in 11th, just missed out a little bit on Jack, as the reserve of Maxim has actually spun it. Or Maxim, in 12th. Sondre goes to 13th in the Toro Rosso. Brandon, whose apparently lap was blocked and made him retire, is in 14th. Venom, who was the culprit, is in 15th. Jay 16th with a pole qualifying after he had 2 invalid laps, and his invalid lap would have put him on pole. Lewis Curtis in 17th on mediums. Cameron Young and Ollie both had qualifying bans, 18th and 19th on hards, and Aaron Collingwood, who missed quali, who's also been disqualified from the formation lap, is in 20th on hard compound tyres. So that is the grid for you. And you know our top 3 predictions. Let us know what your top 3 predictions are in the comments. It's always appreciated. And hopefully
it is going to be an interesting race.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got. I mean, obviously the top 5 doesn't see an Aaron, a Jay, or a Matthew, so that will be interesting. All 3 of them very out of place coming through the field, and also a few more people maybe out of place. So
as true as the light sequence will be starting very shortly. As if you can keep an eye on the back there, Kevin, and I'll keep an eye on the front for the first couple of corners. Now 2 lights, 3 lights, now 4 lights, now 5 red lights. They're gone, and off we go with the McLaren's on an okay start. Look at Nino Romanelli, who's had a decent start, already challenging the Renault on the inside. Pedro is currently in the lead, so Jack Laverty's lost it.
There's 5 wide in the background there. I'm not sure if you caught that.
I don't think I did. I was keeping an eye on the battle for the front.
And Pedro Felix is rammed. Felix Negwer's rammed.
Big crash behind. That is Felix. He's destroyed Summit, and there's no safety car, luckily. And Felix just lost it there then. However, Pedro in the lead. Had a decent start. Got to pass Jack Laverty, who's in second now. And then there is Lucas Serra in third, with Nino Romanello still fourth. Jamie keeps fifth, battling with the champion, defending champion of Matthew Alder. Side by side they go, as Matthew Alder doesn't like this section of the track. Matthew keeps it as this battles all over the place. I believe that's Brandon Glover there on Jack Yates, and Jack Yates had a bit of contact with Brandon, and Brandon has got the move done. However, Jack Yates is trying to come back.
Trying to get back past Eric in the background.
Oh, Brandon's
side by side between Bran and Matthew there as well.
Yeah, both Mercs are struggling right now. And here comes Cameron. Oh, that was questionable from Cameron. Side by side, Cameron's done a great move on both of them, though, but Jay's going back at him. Will we see a 3-wide overtake? Brandon has to realise Jay's there. Here comes Jay now, boxing in his teammate. His teammate's trying to find a way through. His teammate backs out very smartly. Jay shoves the door on him. He just basically did the same copycat move what Cameron did to him. And wait a minute, what? Why are Mercs pitting?
Both of them.
Why are they in the pits?
Presumably wing change. It is a wing change. Although
no, that isn't good for Bran. The Mercs are double second. Oh, someone's out. The Mercs have been saved. Lucas has lost it.
They've been saved.
Mino is out, so someone, and the Race Point team won't be happy that one of their cars are out of the race, but Lewis Curtis takes on soft tyres, probably trying to steal the fastest lap. However, there's been big chaos further behind. Just got to make sure Aqua's got a bit of, so Max has got a bit of wing damage, so has Ollie. What about Felix? Has Felix got any wing damage? No, so Felix got a little away, but the people who've been really lucky under this safety car is Jay and Brandon and Lewis Curtis.
Yeah, I was just looking at people who have gone up a lot and down a lot. Lucas Serra started in, I think that was 4th. He's down to 11th, so not the best start for him. Felix started in 8th and is now in 16th. Aaron Collingwood and Cameron Young, though, Aaron up 10 positions and Cameron up 9. They started at the back.
That is true, and I wouldn't expect anything different from those two drivers, as they are quick and can be aggressive when they want to be. They're 9th and 10th. Could that help Aaron get a win, which he got removed, well, when he retired. But even if he did finish that race, he would have been disqualified, as Pedro fakes the pit, trying to say to Jack, try and dummy him in, but it doesn't work. Although Jamie's now in 3rd place right now, and he'll be really happy with that. But he's got to watch out that the defending champion is right behind him. As people are coming into the pits, that is Ollie, as both Red Bulls are double stacking. Wait, hang on, wait, what? Hang on a minute. Okay then, no one saw that, right? Is Felix stuck in the pits?
I see what you're seeing, but I'm not sure if it's okay. It's gone now.
That was weird. We had this thing last week where it like puts the first guy like waiting, and the second guy goes in, but it's actually the first guy who's getting the tyres done. It's a weird thing. It's Codemasters. What do you expect? You know. But you were right about one thing though, with the safety car, as quick as it is, lap 3 or lap 2 it came out, you weren't wrong that there would be a safety car in today's race. And the people who've been lucky with it actually is Pedro, Jack, Jamie and Matthew Alder, but you know, Jay's up to 14th already after people have made their pit stops, and he's only on mediums, so he's back to the position where he roughly started.
The people at the back who have pitted onto mediums, if they started on hards, which presumably they did if they were outside the top 10, they could go medium to the end now.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Which would be a better strategy.
That is true, those two could go medium. But it depends how long they can make those mediums last, of course. There's Team Norway Racing Esports, I believe that's Halvo on that, saying let's go Sondre. So Sondre's got all of Norway cheering on him. As currently he is in 12th place right now. Let's see if he's got any damage on his car. It doesn't look like it. His teammate ahead of him is Eric. So the Norwegian and the Finnish driver currently in 11th and 12th. Ahead of them is Aaron Collingwood and Cameron Young, who are just in the points ahead of him if they want to get both cars in there. Although Pedro is still behind the safety car, waiting for the safety car to go out, and hopefully he doesn't get the glitch as we had with Aaron Collingwood last week. However, while we look in the standings right now, as I said, the only two teams who haven't scored points in the constructors who could score points today is Mercedes and Alfa. Alfa Romeo currently 3rd and 5th right now, so they could score some decent points. And the other team, the Mercs, are 14th and 19th, and I believe Felix has just pitted again. Yeah, Felix has just pitted again. Why is he pitted again?
Well, I think maybe he has nothing to lose, so may as well be on 2 laps fresher tyres.
Yeah, true, but he's going to lose, if he doesn't catch up soon, he's going to lose a lot of time. So much going on over here. Just got to keep an eye out under the safety car, like no one runs into each other. And Felix should have enough time to catch up with the safety car. But some chat information. Facundo, if I do apologize, got your wrong there name. Name wrong there. He's saying go Sarah, so I believe he's on about Lucas. Tidronis, I believe he's on the Team Norway Racing Esports account. Said Sondre told me earlier he was going to win today. Well, if Sondre's going to win, he's going to have to do it within style today, as the safety car will be now coming in. So Pedro will be getting ready to lead the formation up through the final corner, as they can't overtake until they start the racing line. As we will be going green in a couple of seconds.
Oh, he's really slowed down the field.
Which he is allowed to do. He can slow as slow as he wants, as long as he doesn't accelerate again then stop. So see what the Brazilian does on through the final corner. As he's going, he has had a good run, and he's starting his lap as we go green, and there's battles already taking place. Jamie's trying to get a run on the McLaren. Jack Laverty's trying to make a run on the Renault, and nobody makes any overtakes as I can see. Oh, actually, Aaron Collingwood's thinking about going on Jack Yates. Doesn't work because he's got past Cameron, I believe. And Cameron does a switch, goes around the outside. Has he got the move done? And yes, he has. Aaron Collingwood loses that position and drops further down. As Sondre is under threat by a Mercedes of Jay and the Haas driver of Lucas Serra. Lucas Serra has to remember there's a Mercedes right behind him. They can't avoid any contact. And they do not, luckily. Oh, actually Jay almost got collided with Lewis Curtis there. Lewis Curtis has been very eager. He is on the soft compound tyres. Makes a dive into the hairpin, and he's going to have a lot more grip compared to the mediums. If I was Jay, I'd just let him go. You know, he's on a different compound tyre, he's on a different strategy. But right now, no opposition has taken place. However, though, there's a Red Bull moving out of the way. What is he doing? No, big impact. Both Red Bulls are in 17th and 19th right now. However, we'll go back on board with Pedro, who's currently under threat. Everyone is within DRS range.
Yeah, Jay's right on the back of Lucas Serra. Now he's having a look down the inside. Lucas moves cover him off, and a big lockup that could give Jay a run. Does give Jay a run. Off DRS and slipstream is. Oh no, he won't actually.
As here comes Jamie to take the second place from the McLaren into turn 1. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Jamie is into second place. Jamie's starting to pick up the pace now. Matthew Alder's going to see Jack is a bit weak right now on those mediums. Going to go on the hards, going for an aggressive launch. Has to make sure he doesn't hit Jamie.
There's an incident behind Lucas there and Jay coming out of turn 2 in the entry of turn 3. I think they have a bit of contact. No damage for Jay, but
Lucas reports it. It will be
with that corner going side by side, it is a bit difficult. And
it looked like he gave him room, but he just spun it. Yeah, I get it now. I know what you mean. How about Matthew now into third place? Jack Levitt, he's lost 2 positions. Look quick on the start of the safety car outlap, and now he's just losing pace on those mediums.
Jay's already making move on Sondre Sorhaug as well.
Not surprising. Jay wants payback after what happened to him in Australia. Not getting held up by the Toro Rosso.
Yeah, he's really making the moves as soon as possible and where they can.
As there's battles all over the track. Lewis is going. Lewis looked like he was losing the car completely. He almost did Kimi Räikkönen, what Kimi Räikkönen did in Monaco. Although there is Ollie Flavel making it 3 wide as we get a nice camera shot from Brandon as Ollie now makes the move on both drivers. And here comes Lewis Curtis now on the softs. But I'm going to have to probably jump ahead with Lee Kelly now, who's possibly under threat. No, he isn't. As the McLaren is defending on the inside, Brand's having a little look, but can't make it work, as we did see in the real life Grand Prix in the real race 2014. As Brandon's going to make it on the inside.
He's going for a move down the side of Eric.
He's doing that on Eric. Brandon's making moves on Lewis Curtis. Lewis's softs are already overheated, and Brandon is saying thank you very much and gets the position. Although you did say Eric got passed by Jay, am I correct? As Jay is now actually challenging Aaron Collingwood. He's currently in 10th. Aaron has to watch out in his braking zone that he doesn't want to take out Jack.
Different tyre compounds between Aaron and Jay, so it might be better for Aaron to just let him through. I don't think he'll want to do that.
Well, that's not in Aaron's nature. I think he would like to stay ahead of the driver right now and show that he's got the pace on those hards. So keep an eye on this scrap. There's scraps all over the field, and I'm probably going to have to switch over to Matthew Alder in a minute. Will Jay go for a lunge? Nope, he stays behind. However, I'm going to go on board with Matthew Alder now, who's currently making a move on JME, and JME hasn't got the straight line speed right now to cope with Matthew. Matthew aggressively defends, goes back on the racing line. Jack Larity gets through as well on JME.
There's going to be 3 wide for 10th here between Jack Yates, Aaron and Jay, and they can both get through.
And Aaron has
so
to
a
yield.
Double overtake from Jay there, open to 9th.
Yep, Jay's a man on a mission right now. He's doing a Rubens Barrichello, and now Aaron Collingwood's under threat by Jack Yates. Jack Yates is going for it. Tries to make it work, can't make it work right now. And Aaron keeps the position as Lewis Curtis finally pits on from those soft tyres and going on a set of hards. Right now, a person whose lead has just been eaten into by Matthew Alder is Pedro. Gap was around about 2.4 seconds, now it's gone around about 1.5. So Matthew's starting to pick up the pace as he runs extremely wide, and that, I don't know. Don't know if you're allowed to do that, Matthew, my friend. Literally completely go off the track and carry on. But Matthew's done it and hasn't got a penalty. Jack Levity, on the other hand, is challenging Matthew again, so even if Matthew does get past, he hasn't got the straight line speed and hasn't got the raw pace he usually has to get away from these drivers. As Jack Levity wants to win this race, he did start on pole. There's battles all over the place right now. As here comes then Jack Levity on, as he sets the fastest lap actually, on Matthew Alder. Jay now sets a new fastest lap by 100th, I believe. Jack Lowe, on the other hand, couldn't make the move into turn 1. However, Jay and Cameron are getting closer and closer together. As there's yellows behind.
There's an incident somewhere.
Oh, that's Lewis. Lewis has binned it. Lewis made a mistake on the fast right with the curb, and Matthew is really under threat now by the McLaren. Oh, there's a massive scrap for P8 right now. Sorry, not P8. P10. Collingwood is really struggling on those compounder tyres, and Eric is looking hungry. And Brandon and Ollie going at it.
Ollie, 2 seconds ago, there tried to make a move on Jack Yates, and instead he had a little bit of contact, had to save the car, and lost the position to Bran.
There's scraps all over the field right now. Look how close the McLaren of Ollie's getting to Brandon's gearbox there through the braking zone. Brandon gets a decent exit and a decent run on Jack. Jack Yates now is going to lose another position. They're roughly on the same tyres, so Jack's struggling on tyre wear right now on the Ferrari. Let's look how close Brandon's going. These lot don't make a mistake like Lewis did earlier.
Jay's also close up to Cameron Young. He may be making an overtake very, very soon.
Okay, I will keep an eye on that. As we will switch on that right now, actually. As these two have had contact
right
in
up
the
his
past.
Gearbox. He'll be side by side, way before the corner. May make it
alongside
before the corner as well. And he will.
Cameron has nothing to answer. Place. Even with DRS, Cameron has nothing to answer right now. As there's a massive scrap.
Oh, and there's also, yep.
Look how JJ needs to be picky and choosy with this battle. He needs to make this move work as soon as possible because Cameron could come back at him. Cameron can't go on the inside. Jay makes the move on the Ferrari, gets it done. Ferrari tries to switch, so does Cameron. And Cameron has to also watch out that he doesn't collect his front wing here. And Jay is really flying right now. He's going really quickly. May go an aggressive lunge into the hairpin corner. Look at the driver right now. He's a man on a mission. And if I was Matthew, I would watch your mirrors because this driver is closing you down. Jay's
yeah, he really is. He's only a few seconds off Matthew, and you see where they started compared to where they are now.
And he had contact as well at the start, and he's at the pit for under the safety car. So Matthew's at the moment, if you want to win this race on that strategy you're on, you're going to have to pull something out of the bag. Because right now, Jay is really starting to pick up the pace and looks the fastest one here right now on this track.
Yeah, he's already got a pretty good gap to Casper.
That's true.
He's almost out of his DRS already.
As Maxim got a penalty added to his time.
As first one into the pit.
Pedro's in. So is the Alpha Elite, and so is Casper. So two Ferrari engined teams as Haas and Alpha are in the pits as Pedro's. Let's see where Pedro's going to come out on the field. He's actually going to come out in clean air. Now, Cameron's now jumped to 5th after he's got past Venom. However, though, I think it's already too late as Venom's actually trying to come back at him. Actually, but Cameron makes the move done as Jay is only in 4th place now. Current gap between him and the leader is around about 5.1 seconds. As Jack Laverty's managed to keep with Matthew, even though they're on different compound of tyres. And Matthew's got roughly the same amount of ERS, so Matthew is pushing a little bit on those compound. When will Matthew pit? That's what I'm wondering.
I think the pit lap for Hards is around lap 18 or 19.
Oh, hang on, Matthew just made a mistake.
Oh, and he makes a mistake.
Again makes a mistake. That's questionable with that final corner as well, not getting a warning or a penalty. If he hasn't got one. Now that Jack is looking confident on those mediums. Or is Matthew doing a Michael
into the
Schumacher?
pit comes Jack.
Yeah, Matthew may be doing a Michael Schumacher.
And Jamie behind him as well. Jay stays out, so now the next person that Jay needs to hunt down is Matthew. Only a few seconds up the road.
5.4 seconds to be exact. But if I was Matthew, I'd start picking up the pace a little bit now. As I think that's what he was doing, but just banging in slow times, and now he's going to do a Michael Schumacher because there's a bigger battle for P8 right now with Ollie and Jack, which I just missed. And also I think possibly for Lucas, Sarah and Sondre. Lucas is probably trying to do a Lando Norris around the outside, but he can't get a gap through. As these two are the closest battles we have. As Lucas, I believe, has pitted. Actually, I don't think he has. Fastest lap is currently still held by Matthew, 1:30.5. No, Lucas. Yeah, Lucas has pitted. So I think Lucas is probably going to try and make those hards go to the end, which I don't think is possible, but he may try it. As the gap between Jay and Matthew stabilised around about 5.4 seconds.
Yeah, Ollie and Felix seem to be closest. Actually, there's a closer one. There's Sondre Sorhaug and Lucas Serra.
That's what I'm on board
very,
right
very
now,
close together.
As it looks like the Ferrari
and
is
into
coming
pits
in.
comes Jack Yates.
What about Lucas though? Lucas is looking hungry on Sondre. Sondre's got a bit of DRS. Lucas is not really using any ERS right now, so he's not really pushing the car as he could be. As he took a weird line there, as he almost loses the back end as well, and that's cost him a run. Will he go for a dive? No, but he's going to try and see if he can get him on traction. And nope, Sondre gets a bit better traction than Lucas. So we'll go on board on TV pod view. As there's no battles right now, as the gap between Jay and Matthew slowly closed a bit now. 5.3 is Lucas is trying to make an inside lunge. Can't make it work. Just shining the Haas in at the mirrors of the Toro Rosso. As Venom's actually just been passed by Casper, I believe. Oh, Lucas almost loses the rear there. Really struggling on those tyres already, and he's only done 10 laps. Now, is he already overheating because he's behind the Toro Rosso, or is that him just struggling on traction?
His hards are 10 laps old, so that they're still in a good working range. Another like 8 laps till they really start feeling some loss of traction. But here he goes now. He's got slipstream and DRS. Sondre's not got anyone's slipstream or DRS to have, and he's through up into 9th.
Good move there from Lucas. Moves up to 9th, but was it too early? Because now Sondre's going to get DRS now. It's his turn. And let's see what the Norwegian can do. Nope, Sondre can't get past him. And the Bottle Hulk is in 10th though, so right now he's in the points as his teammate. He's currently in 5th, battling Aaron Collingwood in 4th. As the gap to the lead now, Jay to Matthew went about 5.4 seconds, and Jay's doing a decent job on 12 lap mediums. Now this is where the Mercedes team could play in their own hands. As Yale's in sector 1.
Safety car.
Oh no! That
is not good for Matthew. He did not need it this time.
That isn't good for Matthew. He could pit, go mediums, and he's going to have to push them to the end. But Jay, he'll be licking his lips. He can go back on the hard compound of tyre and go to the end. Matthew, on the other hand, can't.
Yeah, this is good for a lot of people behind. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, no, a lot of people are on hards.
Matthew's actually gained.
Brandon Glover will benefit from this a lot.
Okay, Matthew's gained a lot.
Felix, Negwer, and Ollie will also benefit.
That is interesting.
Win anyway.
That is very interesting from Matthew. He gained 2 seconds under the safety car on Jay. The gap was 5.5, and then it went to 7.7 or 7.5 now. That is interesting. What is
on go the mediums.
What about Jay? Jay's on mediums.
Jay can put on mediums as well, and he does.
That's
so that
interesting.
puts them on. That puts them level. Who's going to stay out though?
I wouldn't have gone on mediums.
Is that Ollie? No, that's not Ollie. That's his teammate, Jack, and the Renault of, I'm not sure of his name. I actually forgot it. Pedro.
Pedro. Yeah.
They both stayed out.
Alright, so well, Pedro was the net leader. And in theory, Pedro could win this race over Matthew Alder, because in my opinion, Matthew is unlucky with the safety car and pit, but Jay has made a very weird pit stop. Maybe these two think the mediums can go to the end, but just in case, if I was Jay, I would have gone hard.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like pitting on the end of lap 17. and you usually do it at the end of lap 18 or 19, so it's not that much of a difference. So in that sense, I think it's the right call, and they will gain time with sort of sense as well, and they won't lose so much, because the safety car will help their tyre wear.
It's true. So we'll do another safety car then. So people who have pitted then is Maxim. He's actually on a set of soft tyres. Sondre has gone on mediums. Lucas has gone on a set of hard combative tyres. Ollie Flavel has also gone on a set of hards. Brandon, Eric, Cameron Young, Aaron Collingwood have gone on a set of medium tyres. And the only two people at the front who've pitted is Matthew and Jay. And this has really helped Jay for points in the championship. Wherever he finished today, he'll be scoring his first set of points. For Mercedes team and for himself as well.
Yeah, I have to say it's been a brilliant drive by Jay. I mean, at the end of lap 1, obviously, as we said earlier, he was in the pits because of wing damage, and now here we are 15 laps later, he's got back through the grid and he's put himself in third.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. You know, Jay does deserve driver of the day with qualifying in 15th. Had to pit on lap 1, as you've said, and he's gone through the field brilliantly. Non-aggressive moves like shoving people off the track. As Brandon, Venom's pitted, so Brandon's gone on a set of hard compounded tyres probably. But no, as I was saying, you know, Jay's lucky a little bit, so a bit of luck has come to him, and he could win this race. But he could also lose this race with the strategy he's on. So, you know, you never know. We could see Pedro win in the Renault, who got a podium. Well, did have a podium last week until Matthew's penalty was removed, so he dropped to 4th, I believe. So Pedro is probably wanting a podium back, basically. Yeah, I just got that.
Aqua just got a warning, or a 5-second penalty rather, for a severe collision with Jack Yates.
Well,
Jack doesn't have any damage, so it may get removed. I didn't see it though.
So did he get one as well?
No, I was just saying that Aqua got a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Jack Yates, but Jack Yates seems perfectly fine.
The thing is though, if Aqua pits for that wing damage, it will be served and then it won't be removed. If it's served, it won't be removed. But I believe he's got 2, so 1 may be removed and 1 might not. But this is what you've got to be. Under the safety car, always be ready for the car in front to brake a bit early or something like that. If you don't, then this is what happens. You get penalised, you get 5 seconds, which will be removed if you report it, of course. But if you don't, it stays. But right now, this has been a very interesting race, and Paco Suarez, my teammate in IRL F1,
safety car in this lap.
as Lewis has left the session, so but actually both race points are out, so that's probably why the safety car came out. I didn't even realise that. The safety car is coming in this lap. But Paco Suarez says both Alfa Romeos are having a good day in the office, and I kind of agree with him. Jamie's 5th and Lee Kelly 6th, starting where they started on the start line. Now, who is going to have a better start?
Yeah, it'll be a good haul of points for them.
Pedro almost rear-ended Matthew. I don't know what Aaron's doing. Is Aaron trying to overtake on the safety car? Yes, he is. What is he doing?
Oh, Jay didn't get the best start there.
Okay, a few people are probably going to be questioning with that. However, here comes Jay. Jay is getting plundered by the McLaren. Will Jamie go for a lunge? He's thinking about it. Maybe we go 3 wide into turn 1. Contact has been averted. Pedro has to realise Jay's there. Jay gets the move done on the outside, and now Matthew's going to have to start picking up the pace, because now Jay is going to close up on him quickly as possible. There's battles between the Alphas in 5th and 6th. 3 wide between Cameron Young, splitting him, squishing him literally into the car. Aaron's trying to get through. Cameron's trying to fight back. Cameron has to realise Jamie's there still.
And Aaron Collingwood had to back out of that as well. He had to save his car.
Well, Aaron Collingwood is actually... Oh, what is Aaron doing? Aaron really braked late there. And yeah, that's... Yeah. He got a penalty for that. I think he ran on the curb and it just made him lose braking. As he rear-ends Eric. Eric is going to go round. I don't know what Collingwood is doing right now. I don't know if he's got an issue with his brakes.
Ollie and Casper are going side by side.
Eric's probably going to dive him. No. However though, Aaron, if I was you, mate, I'd give that position him back, because that wasn't the cleanest. However though, Ollie and Casper, as you said, are battling right now. McLaren versus Haas. Have a look, the gap between Jay and Matthew is around about 8 tenths. Matthew's had an okay start. As I don't know what that Haas behind was doing then, as the Ferraris are going side by side. As I think Lucas is saying, come on Casper, get the move done, I want to get past here.
As Matthew says the fastest lap of the race.
29.4, good lap there from him, as Lucas is making a move on his teammate, or is trying to anyway at least. He's going on the inside, he's not alongside yet, doesn't make the move, makes him brake late, and this isn't good for the Haas team, it's costing him possibly another position. And luckily it doesn't, but he don't give him the best of run. I don't know what Lucas is really playing at right now, as Jamie's dropped to 8th. Now has Jamie got an issue? No, he hasn't got wing damage, he's losing positions now, he's flying down the order. Eric and Collingwood have got past him. Have a look, back for battle for P3 right now, Pedro, Jack and Cameron Young. So Cameron Young's also had a good race today, with a qualifying ban of course. He's back. However though, if he gets a podium, he gets the drive of the day unless Jay wins. Of course. And right now though, there's battles all over the place right now, and Alpha versus McLaren possibly further behind. The thing is, though, if I was Matthew and Jay, they're going to have to start picking up the pace, excuse me, quite quickly, because they're on mediums and they're going to be used if they have to pit. And the pit stop
looks like they are doing that though, because they have broken DRS from the cars behind, and the cars behind are in a little bit of a train, so they will be slowing each other down.
You are correct there. As DRS has
quite a
been
few
enabled.
mixed strategies, and it'll be interesting to see how they work out at the end.
However though, Ollie versus the Haas of Lucas. Lucas is trying to go on the outside, can't make it work. Whoa! Lucas just rear ends him. That is that's questionable. Extremely. Ollie won't be happy with that. And that's probably going to now lose Ollie now to Venom. And has it? Yeah, it has. Ollie's lost another position, so because of that little nudge the Haas driver did, missing his braking point, as Casper's going on the outside of Bran, now into the inside. Casper almost loses control of the car, but keeps it under control. Somehow managed to keep it under control right now, as the only 2 attempts we had of this race is one lap 19 is both racing points, Lewis Curtis and Nino Romanello.
Up front, Jay's really close to Matthew. He's within 5 tenths of him.
And Jay is saving a lot more ERS than the defending champions doing. Matthew Alder is a sitting duck from Jay right now. Look how much he's closed on the braking zone. Will Matthew be able to hold Jay off for the rest of the race?
I think we're about to see a move from Jay.
Those mediums final corner. Yeah, those mediums are going to do around about 14 to 15 laps. So this is going to be a push from these lot. As here comes Matthew versus Jay. Williams versus Merck. Who's going to get the slipstream down into turn 1?
Jay's closing. Is he going to go for it? No.
He's being smart. He saved his ERS. Now he's going to put it up to ERS mode 4, I believe. And he's going to attack ASAP. Well, he's actually still in ERS mode 0. So he's just proving that he doesn't need the ERS just to try and stay with him. And he's trying to make...
Yeah, I think this is a bit of strategy from Jay to just stick behind, save a bit of fuel in ERS, and then attack closer to the end.
Could be.
And then once he does, he might be able to make that gap by pushing with a bit of extra fuel.
Oh, well, you may be correct there, but it also can have a disadvantage to Jay. It could overheat his tyres quicker than Matthew, which he doesn't want. If I was Jay, I would get the move done ASAP and just get past Matthew and just floor it. Just try and build a gap, a safe gap at least. But he's staying behind him.
Jay really close. He's got a full battery this time, and he's not even using it on the straight. He's gone to none.
Ooh,
as there's a virtual
VSC,
safety car.
Will Matthew pit for fresh mediums? Jay was expecting him to pit.
That's going to mess up his race if he does.
So that is the Red Bull driver of Maxim, who's a reserve, is out.
yeah, no one has pit under this virtual safety car.
I don't blame him. You know, as
And
right
actually
now,
fast says, that's Pedro, rather. It's just close up a lot to the top two. I think this is actually Matthew. Yeah, I think Matthew's actually slowed down to try and get Pedro to close up so he can put some pressure on Dre, and he seems that he's succeeded. Because now
possibly.
Pedro's within DRS.
Well, now it's green, 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 and right now then, Pedro is now within a second. He's around about 7.5 tenths behind Jay. And Jay may not be a bit happy with Matthew there, but Matthew, I don't know if you can actually do that under the VSC if they're caught up. But there's also a glitch, which I do know about the VSC, that some drivers, if they go in pause AI mode, I believe they can catch up. But I haven't seen it a problem in leagues that much, so I don't know. If Matthew's backed off, that is...
Yeah, and actually, if Matthew was trying to back him up, Pedro's already lost DRS.
Yeah. This is actually a close battle actually between Aaron Collingwood and Lee Kelly. At least this time Aaron realised that he can't overtake after the line, before the line, as Aaron's already getting dicey. Gonna go to move to 6th place, gets the move done, and Aaron Collingwood jumps to P6. Lee tries the switch. Cameron Young gets his first time penalty. Have a look at Lee, he's trying to switch it. Aaron has to give him room. Almost shoves him completely off the track. They're still side by side. Aaron realises he's still there, gives him a little bit of room. As Aaron's just shutting the door.
It's great racing between those two.
Very great racing. As Matthew has pulled a bit away now from Jay, around about 7.5 tenths. And now Eric is now starting to close up on Lee. As actually, no, Jay's actually closed a little bit now. We're on about 6. Oh, no, now he's lost it again. Now 7.5 tenths. He was 6.5, now he's 7.5.
Yeah, I've just saw though, Matthew was like no ERS left for the straight.
Really?
Whereas Jay definitely does.
Yeah, this
He's
is. Yeah, look at that.
10%. So.
Wow. Matthew pushing at the boundaries of his ERS, and Jay's not really pushing and still beats the fastest lap.
Yeah, I saw there. Matthew was 15k slower than Jay, as Cameron just gets past Pedro there.
So he's oh, there's a big scrap behind. Eric shoves Lee off, it looks like, and please don't end in tears between the alphas. I don't know if Lee just lost a bit of time because he just dropped a 10th.
Jay's close right back
really
up to Matthew. Matthew obviously struggling to save his ERS at the moment. It seemed like maybe after the virtual safety car, Matthew used all his ERS hoping that he could get away while Pedro was still in Jay's DRS, but that didn't work, and now he's in a bit of a bad position now.
That is true. And here comes Jay. The field. He's really closing up to Matthew now. Let's see if he's up on his delta. Now he's a second down off his PB, so he's backed off a little bit on this lap then, not really pushing that much, trying to save a bit more ERS. He's got 70%, Matthew's only got 40. So Jay is finding a lot more areas to save his ERS, and he may go for a lunge into the final corner. Nope, just trying to put Matthew off possibly. But now Jay is in attack. Will he go for the lunge now on Matthew? This is going to be for the lead as one lap, 24 out of 29. Matthew defends on the inside. As we've seen this before, Matthew defends on the inside, and he's lost the position from the lead before. Matthew keeps the inside. Jay does the switch. Matthew has to realise he's there. And here comes Jay. Side by side they go. Matthew shoves him up a little bit, but Jay's still there. And Matthew gets better traction, but Jay's still there. Matthew has to realise this, as there was a bit of connection issue between these two. And they're back to normal as the connection actually fixed itself. There's another battle further behind, Jack Laverty and Pedro for P4.
Yeah, and with that bit of paddling, it's allowed Cameron to close back up, quite
Maybe
significantly.
this is a tactic.
Only a second and a half behind.
I have an interesting theory that Matthew is copying what me and Paco Suarez did in Season 5 between the Williams. The Renault sandwich, it was called. It's now going to be a Williams sandwich on a Merc. As this is possibly Matthew really slowing down just so his teammate can get Jay off him, because Matthew looks like right now he's incapable of keeping him behind. He's doing a good job so far, but I think Jay in the next couple of laps is just going to get past quickly. As we will be on lap 25.
Because if he can back him up into his teammate, if his teammate gets past, then they could do some sort of team order where Cameron holds up Jay and then it allows Matthew to get away a bit.
Just look, Jay is right on his gearbox, and now Cameron's within DRS. Now, Cameron could possibly fancy his chances of winning today's race. Sondre just gets a 3-second time penalty. And Jay's going on the outside. Has he got the move done? Yes, he has. He's through, but will Matthew dive it into turn 1? Has to realise locks up, has to realise he's there. And he does. Matthew can't make it work. However, he's going to have the bite of the cherry now. Makes a mistake on the exit. Got DRS though. But what about Cameron? Will Cameron possibly have his chances against his teammate? Nope. Jay keeps the lead so far. So we have a new leader. And I don't believe Jay's got a penalty. I don't believe Matthew has either. So, as long as they don't get penalties between Matthew and Jay, they are safe from Cameron.
Yeah, looks like Jay has the pace over Matthew, but of course once they get into the straight, all this progress that Jay's making is going to go away.
Well, that is true, but don't count out Pedro right now. He's only 1.4 seconds off these three. He's on hard tyres. Those mediums will be falling off very soon, surely. So in theory, Pedro still could get a podium right now. Cameron is actually looking a bit quicker this season against his teammate. Cameron had a lot of bad luck last season. Could Cameron be a possible championship contender? Only time we'll have to tell. Is right now though, he's staying with his teammate.
Matthew is closing. Jay defends to the inside a little bit. Is he going to go for it though?
Oh, Matthew
he sticks behind for now.
It's very smart.
Now his teammates right up the back of him as well.
As Jack's actually got past, actually no, he's actually lost position back to Pedro. And yet again, Matthew can't keep up with him. He's trying to stay behind him, save his DRS, just basically do what Jay did. Now Jay's now on the back foot on ERS now. He's got less than Matthew. Matthew's got over half. So if I was Jay, I'd just save all his ERS in all the sectors. There's yellows in sector 2. That is a Renault.
Yellow.
That is Pedro. Pedro! That, wow. That is, yeah, between Lucas and Pedro there. I don't know what happened. I think Lucas just didn't slow down. What is Lucas doing? What is Lucas doing? Okay, that's definitely getting investigated. Venom is round and he will be furious. Lucas just... Alright. I've got no words for that. Now we'll go back to the battle for the lead. It's a three-way fight for the lead, as these three have been battling for the lead before against each other. All in different teams. Except now it's two Williamses versus a Merc. Oh, it's Matthew's rear end kicks out.
Matthew made a small mistake there. Or it's not going to stop him from maybe being side by side with Jay. He's going to look to the outside and switches to the inside.
That was questionable between them two, as I did see there was contact between Matthew and Jay there. But
and is his teammate going to go through as well?
Cameron gets
the
position.
And his teammate gets him.
Yep. There shouldn't be really any team orders. If Cameron's quicker, let him go, as there was contact between the Williams of Matthew and Jay, and I think Matthew made a late move and Jay wasn't expecting it and tried to defend, and it was just a little bit of contact, which luckily didn't end one of their races. But right now though, Matthew's now on the back foot. He's in third. However, now the battle is between these two drivers.
Jack Leverty as well. He's in the background. He might be licking his lips.
There's only 1.8 seconds, so if Jack can keep the pace what he's got right now, he can really start to do some damage to Cameron, who's got a 3-second time penalty. As we're on lap 27, we will be on the penultimate lap soon. as Jay was just hoping this race ends right now. But unfortunately, you've got a few more laps to go.
Yeah, and I've just saw Cameron doesn't have as much ERS as Jay.
As
So
Brandon's
he's going to have to save
Lucas.
a bit more.
Brandon has got past Lucas. Ollie's next on Lucas. As Lucas lifts off, I don't know why Lucas lifted off there. Has he got damage? Yes, he has. He's got hardly any front wing. I'll keep an eye on that battle for the front as well if he gets really close. If he doesn't,
yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it.
Oh, we'll switch back to that. Any positions again? Nope.
It's very, very close to Jay.
Who's going to get on traction?
On the exit, could he do anything? Doesn't look like it. Matthew seems to have just dropped off. He can't get close.
Oh, Lee's out. Lee is retired. So why is Lee manually retired? He's actually retired in the pits, and there won't be any VS Steel safety car since it's on lap 28, the penultimate lap. And that possibly stopped Lucas actually and Ollie making him in position. Ooh, Cameron almost locks
lock
up.
up from Cameron.
Almost locks up and almost hits Jay, but yeah, that's alright now. Jay's having
very
a really
similar ERS
race.
modes or ERS battery.
Matthew's got a lot more, so this is probably what
has a
Matthew's
lot.
doing. Never know, all these three could have penalties.
Here comes Cameron, he's closing a lot, he's going to go on the outside.
Oh, what's Cameron just done?
A little bit of contact and he can't make it work. And now Matthew's all of a sudden right behind these two as well. Coming on to the last lap.
I don't get how their tyres haven't exploded yet.
Cameron's closing, he might want to go for a move in the final corner. He's having a look. Doesn't go for it though.
Doesn't get the traction. What about Matthew?
This could be one last chance. Jaded defends to the inside. He's gonna have to go to the outside. Side by side in the final corner, or the first corner on the final lap rather. And Matthew's also trying to get involved.
Still side by side. Jay gets the position. But Cameron's really getting aggressive now. Matthew, Cameron and Jay side by side to the turn 4. Matthew sees Cameron making a mistake. Cameron won't be happy with that because he couldn't get the switch, but lets his teammate through. That is team orders playing into effect, and Jay is still in the lead. There's only one chance now Matthew has got, I believe now, on this big straight. Matthew's got a lot more ERS compared to Jay. And look how close Jack Levity is. He's really close now. As there's battles all over the place. As Matthew activates his DRS and deactivates and then reactivates it, tries to get close. Will he have enough time this time to make a move? He can't do it. He has to stay behind. Only a few more corners to go.
There's only going to be one more chance for Matthew, and the final corner isn't a great place to be making overtakes.
But look how much ERS Jay's got compared to Matthew. Matthew's got a lot more ERS, and this is it. The final corner on the final lap of IRL Season 7 Round 2 at Bahrain. Who's going to win? Will it be Matthew? Will it be Jay? Will it be Cameron or Jack? Through the final corner they go. And it looks like Jay's going to take the win in Bahrain to start his championship off. Start the season. Matthew wins. Jay wins. Matthew second. Jack third. Cameron fourth. And it looks like Aaron Collingwood will take... actually, he drops to 7th. Eric 5th. Pedro 6th. Aaron drops to 7th. Jamie in 8th. Starting 5th. He'll be happy to score some points for the Alpha team. As Venom as Matthew Collins in 9th. And Brandon Glover in 10th. And I don't know what's just gone on further behind. But there was a...
I have to say, what a race we had. What a final few laps we had.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you, mate. I'm sorry to say to Cameron, he don't get the drive idea. Jay gets it for winning. Jay was under pressure from Matthew and Cameron, and neither of them two in the Williams could even stop Jay from winning today's race. And Jay is your top step of the podium in the Mercedes, scoring their first points in the Constructors. Maximum points, actually no, 25 points I believe in the drivers, unless he did get fastest lap. I will check that. Matthew takes second with actually Jack Liberty, who started qualified on pole and takes third. So there you go again. You don't have to qualify on pole to win the race, and it does happen. Matthew qualified on pole in Australia, didn't win. Jack did it, and he didn't win. So then is your finishing order. Jay in first with a 129.227. I think he does take the fastest lap. Matthew Alder in second. Midnight third. Cameron Young drops to fourth with his penalty. Eric in fifth. Pedro in sixth. Aaron Collingwood seventh. Jamie in eighth. Venom in ninth. Brandon in 10th. Good recovery drive from him. Ollie in 11th, also a decent recovery drive. Casper, who lost a few positions, in 12th. Felix 13th. Jack Yates in 14th. Unfortunately missed out on the points, but didn't retire. Beat Sondre Sorhaug in 15th in the Toro Rosso. Lucas Serra in 16th. Lee Kelly, Maxim and Lewis Curtis and Nino Romanella all DNF'd within today's race, but Lee Kelly will qualify as 17th, since I believe he finished within the 90% rule.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of information from Jay. Apparently his left rear was on 82% at the end of that.
Wow. And there you go. That's just amazing pace there with Jay. It's just astonishing. Definitely driver of the day for me. And I've got to say, who's going to be your driver there then, Kevin?
Jay.
Well, Jay's out, so Jay. Yep. I agree with that. Well, could you invite... Well, I know Jay doesn't have a mic, but can you invite... Who finished 4th? Cameron, I believe. Could you invite Matthew, Jack and Cameron to the party?
Just give me a second.
Yep, sure.
Just need to clip that, because... Oh, never mind. System storage says no. Okay. Okay, so Matthew was Cameron racing on Toxic?
Yeah, Toxic, yeah. He was racing as Toxic.
Okay, so I've got Matthew and Cameron. Who was third?
Jack. Midnight, I believe it is.
Underscore JL13, is it?
No, Midnight. Yeah, underscore JL13, yeah.
Okay. Got 3 of them then.
Right, I'll just... Hang on. Something's just come up. Let's go... Right, I'll invite him now. Well, I've got to give credit to Jay then. 82% on those rears. I just don't get how he's managed to pull that off. As we've invited the top 3-4 podium interview. And Sondre has just come in the chat saying, I did not say I was going for the win. As, well... You could have won if you didn't have 8 seconds of penalties. But good result with today's race. You didn't bottle like last week. As we wait for Matthew, Alder, Cameron Young and Jack, I believe, to join the party. As I didn't have them, the top 3 join me last week. I don't think they knew those podium interviews, so I'm just going to put in the PSN chat like those interviews.
Wait, did I not? Wait, what?
What's up?
Oh, okay. I swear I did it, but it didn't post a tweet.
That's weird.
I'm not sure how that happened.
While I wait for everyone to join the interview, if they don't join within a couple of minutes, I will end the stream, of course. Unless anybody else wants to do an interview. Everybody is welcome as long as they're racing F1. Well, there is Cameron Young, so we'll go on with the interview. Do I have his mic on mute? Yes. Why is his mic like that? There we go. Well, we'll start with you, Jack. Just go and make sure that your mic is on. Always allow. It is? Okay then. Well, qualified on pole. You had a good race, and you got a podium, I believe, in the end, with Cameron having a 3-second time penalty. How was your race with the strategy you had to do today? How did it pan out? Oh yeah, of course. Like, you may be a bit disappointed that you didn't get pole, as you qualified on pole, but you know you did that drive back with the 2 safety cars, and you were around about 2 seconds on lap 25 away from Cameron. So to close on those old hards, especially if they want hold mediums, of course, but even still, you did a very decent drive to catch up with them, and you got a podium out of it. So. Well, either mate, don't knock yourself too much because it was a good result. You got some points on the board, P3. I ain't got any more questions to ask you unless Kevin has. Kev?
No, I think you kind of covered it.
Alright then, well I'll ask you actually the one final question actually for next week's race. I believe it's Spain. It is on 4th of April. How do you feel you're going to do there? Do you think you could qualify another pole position and get another podium, or? Okay then, well thank you for joining us for the interview today, and congratulations on your podium. And well, look, you didn't win, of course, but good race today, and hopefully we see you on the podium next time in Spain. Alright then, Kevin, if you want to take on Cameron for his interview.
Yeah. So, Cameron, obviously you had a quality ban for today, so it wouldn't have been the best way to start off the race. But obviously you've finished up in 4th, and I mean at the end you were fighting for the win, so pretty positive.
Yeah, I think overall it's just a bit disappointing that I managed to pick up a pen and footage hasn't saved, so I can't get anything removed. But I mean, I was hoping I could be on the podium, and provisionally I've basically finished there. Pace was good though. Managed to pull a 3-second gap to Jack, but then obviously with the battling me, Jay and Matthew had, managed to get there, but it was a good result.
The safety car was a good talking point in this race. It really shaped up the strategies as well. Some people setting out on hards and some people pitting for mediums like you did. Were you worried about the tyre life, like if they could make it to the end?
I was a little bit worried considering it was a bit early, lap 14, but well, I mean the tyres were very dead at the end, but you know, I think they were all right. But yeah, there was only a little bit of worry. But then after 1 or 2 laps, I realised they could make it. So
yeah, and then next week is Spain. How do you think you could go around there?
Once again, I think it could be challenging for a podium, maybe even a win. But it depends, because obviously we know Matthew is ridiculously fast and Jay's also very quick, so just have to wait and see about Jack as well.
Yeah, so congratulations on your P4 and good luck for next week.
Well then, thank you Karen for that little interview. We will now move on to the defending champion, who unfortunately didn't win today's race, took 2nd. Lost it to Jay. Well then Matthew, how was qualifying and how was your race strategy planned? Did it go to plan, or was this lucky that you got a podium today?
I didn't mean to start on hards, but I knew that it would be good and solid for my race anyway if I just picked up a couple of positions at the start, which I did. Picked up a position on the lead, then the safety car happened, so I didn't really have any other choice. And I just gradually started working my way up, and then I got behind Faz, and then they all pitted, so I just tried to drive as fast as possible. I was like 6 seconds ahead of Jay, and then the safety car came out, which kind of made the race a lot closer between me and Jay. Otherwise he wouldn't have got me realistically. And then at the end I was hoping that I could pick up the win, but I didn't really get that.
Well, Yeah, you didn't unfortunately get the win. However, though, there's actually one other question I would like to ask. With you and Cameron, was there any team orders within when he overtook you, and then you got the position back on him, or was that just Cameron just saying, "You can have him now. I'm not going to catch him because I had a penalty."
Multi 21.
What do you take on that, Matthew?
It wasn't planned. Because Jay just kind of hit me on braking, so just went deep anyway.
Yeah, I did actually catch that. I think he wasn't actually expecting you to make that switch, but it was very close, and you did a very good save to not lose control completely of the car. Well, Kevin, if you want to go and ask him any more questions, and also you can ask him the final question to Matthew, because I ain't got any more.
I can't hear Kevin.
Oh, can you not hear him?
No, I had him muted, I realised.
Okay.
So I didn't really hear the first part of it. But I just want to ask, like, looking forward, I mean, obviously you still have the championship lead, and you do have a pretty healthy gap to second place. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but how are you feeling for the championship? Like, do you think you could keep going like this and win it by a comfortable amount, or do you think there's going to be a fight to the end?
I think I'll be able to win it, but I think I'm. It depends. It depends on how I do in the tracks where me and Jay will be quite similar. You know, like today. Like if Jay keeps being able to beat me like today, then yeah, it'll be close at the end. But if I'm able to pull through, then it won't be. Probably win it if it's not like that.
Okay. And I guess speaking of other tracks, Spain. How do you think you'll go around there?
I don't know. I haven't driven it in a league race in a long time, but I've only done the time trials recently for that, so I haven't really got no idea.
Okay. So I guess congratulations on your P2 and good luck for the next races.
Thanks.
Oh, congratulations and thank you for joining the interview, Matthew, Cameron and Jack. Well then, Kevin, since the race is now officially over and everything has been a spectacular race, with Jay from both of us getting the drive of the day from us. Have you got anything to add before we do the closing down procedure of the stream?
Not really. I mean, I do have to say though it was a really great race the whole way through. I mean, really clean fights from everyone, and especially the final last laps were extremely tense. You didn't know who was going to win, especially with Cameron coming into it. So, really good race.
Yep, I can't agree anymore. It's been a spectacular race, as I've said. Well then, this has been International Racing League Season 7 Round 2 at Bahrain from IRL. I've been your commentator IRL Neon, I was Jared Fosbury. I've also been joined by Next Aspect, that's Kevin. But if you do want to see more content for IRL F1, join us for next week, 4th of April at 6 o'clock on Saturday for F3 at Spain. But if you want to see some more content for Bahrain, you watch F2 and F3 at 4:30 UK time. I believe F2 will be streamed by Sondre Sorhaug, and apparently F3 is now streamed by Felix, I believe. So join us then, and have a good night, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.